let's get started. Please subscribe to the channel. Number 6. Breathing. When automatic turns into mission impossible. Have you ever suddenly become too aware of your own breathing? It's not that you forget how to do it. It's that, out of nowhere, your brain decides to take over and your lungs start playing a chaotic jazz solo. This is called hyperventilation. In moments of panic, you breathe faster and more shallowly, as if your body is gearing up to run from some invisible predator. But instead of giving you more energy, it disrupts the delicate balance of oxygen and carbon dioxide in your blood. Too much oxygen? Sounds good, right? Except it can actually make you dizzy, lightheaded, tingly in your limbs, and feel like you're about to pass out. Ironically, your brain, the drama-loving detective, interprets this as solid proof that something very, very bad is happening. And so the spiral begins. Panic, leading to faster breathing, worse symptoms, and then even more panic. Even if you try to slow your breath, your brain keeps whispering, "But what if this is our last one?" The result? You sit there, desperately trying to control a bodily function that's supposed to run on autopilot, all while wrestling with an existential fear. Something that was once as simple as inhale, exhale, has now turned into the most stressful group project ever, with you and your body as the two very uncooperative teammates. Number 5. The heart howl. On a normal day, your heart is just quietly doing its job, pumping blood, keeping you alive. But when panic strikes, it gets shoved into the spotlight as the star of an overly dramatic medical soap opera. Your brain floods with adrenaline, and your heart reacts instantly. Wait, are we being chased? Suddenly, it's pounding away like it's trying to win a world championship in drumming. You feel it thump not just in your chest, but in your neck, and somehow even behind your eyes. The sensation can be so intense that you start wondering, am I having a heart attack? The good news? Probably not. The difference is that a real heart attack usually worsens with exertion, while panic symptoms tend to peak within 12 minutes and then vanish, like a troublemaking kid who loses interest once no one's paying attention. The problem is, try explaining that to your brain at 1:30 a.m., when it's busy Googling sudden cardiac death. Now you're trapped in your own personal horror film, playing every role: the victim, the villain, and the poor soul who collapses in the opening scene, for daring to think logically. In reality, your heart is just beating. Your brain, however, is already writing the obituary. Number 4. The unreal feeling. Have you ever stared at your own hand and suddenly thought, "This doesn't feel like mine"? Or looked in the mirror and felt like you were seeing a cosplay version of yourself who skipped reading the instruction manual? That's called derealization and depersonalization, two fancy terms for when your brain temporarily unplugs from reality. During a panic attack, your body floods with stress hormones, and your brain sometimes pulls the emergency lever, an emotional airplane mode. You might feel as if you're floating outside your body, or like everything around you is fake, as if you accidentally wandered into a bargain bin CGI simulation of your own life. In truth, this is your brain's bizarre attempt to protect you from sensory overload by switching off your sense of presence. But instead of calming you down, it convinces you you're losing all control, as if you've been trapped in some parallel matrix narrated by David Attenborough. And, of course, the more you notice how strange everything feels, the more panicked you become. It spirals into a psychological feedback loop that's as unsettling as walking through a haunted house, disorienting, eerie, and full of invisible triggers. So, in its own twisted version of help, your brain decides the best move is to make you question whether the universe is even real at all. Number 3. The doomsday illusion. Your eyes, those supposed loyal allies, can sometimes betray you without warning. In the midst of panic, you might notice your vision turning blurry, distorted, or uncomfortably sensitive to light. It's like someone cranked the brightness to max and shrank your field of view down to the size of an espresso cup rim. The culprit?
Your sympathetic nervous system, the one in charge of fight or flight, is busy adjusting your pupils. When your body believes you're in danger, your pupils dilate to pull in more light and detail, supposedly to help you spot threats. The problem is, your brain isn't exactly great at threat assessment when the attacker is nothing more than a carton of oat milk running empty. The result? You get sensory overload. Suddenly, the world feels too sharp, too bright, too real, which paradoxically makes everything seem less real, like you've stepped into a 4K movie where the script makes no sense. And of course, that drops you right back into the familiar game of unreality. Some people even see floating specks, glittering flashes, or strange streaks of light, and immediately jump to the worst medical scenarios. But in reality, it's just your optic nerve riding out a temporary hormonal roller coaster. Your eyeballs aren't plotting your demise, they're simply overwhelmed, confused, and along for the same cortisol-fueled carnival ride as the rest of you.
Number 2. When your muscles turn against you. You're in full-blown panic mode. Your heart's pounding like a war drum, your breathing's in chaos, and now your limbs feel like they've turned to stone. This is yet another unwelcome trick from your nervous system. When your body flips the fight or flight switch, it tightens your muscles. All of them. As if every single muscle group just got cast in an action movie blockbuster. You might notice your jaw clenching, your shoulders locking, your chest tightening, your arms stiffening, even your fingers curling into strange little claws, like you're in the middle of casting some ancient spell. This isn't in your head. It's purely physiological. Your body's bracing to throw a punch, sprint at full speed, or leap a fence in one dramatic bound. The problem? There's nothing to fight, nothing to flee from. So the tension just sits there, useless and painful, leading to muscle soreness, twitching, and sometimes near paralysis when blood flow gets squeezed like it's in the middle of an internal hostage crisis. And naturally, your brain takes this as another reason to panic. Do I have some rare neurological disorder? Nope. It's just the CrossFit version of anxiety, and you never even signed up for the class.
Number 1. When time becomes an endless void. This one's a straight punch to your existential core. In the middle of a panic attack, time gets weird. A single minute can feel like an entire Monday afternoon in a hospital waiting room. Each second drags on like that awkward silence in a meeting when someone accidentally brings up the boss's ex. You'd swear you've been panicking for a lifetime when in reality only 7 minutes have passed and the delivery guy is still stuck at a traffic light. The reason? Your brain switches into hyper-awareness mode. It starts monitoring every heartbeat, every breath, every strange little twitch, as if it's analyzing the global financial market in real time. You become so inwardly focused that the outside world fades, like someone's pulling the curtains closed. Meanwhile, your internal clock is melting down, more like a DJ wrecking the beat at a party than any reliable timekeeper. That's why people often describe panic attacks as lasting forever, even though they're actually brief. When your brain pushes its processing speed to the limit, your sense of time warps, like looking into a funhouse mirror designed by someone who can't stand you. And this distortion doesn't just feel unpleasant, it ramps up your fear. Will this ever stop? What if I'm stuck like this? Am I trapped here forever? Your brain, with its signature dark humor, replies, "Guess we'll find out." That's it for this part. If you want more strange and fascinating deep dives into the mind and body, hit subscribe so you don't miss the next video.